I said, now, word. Oh, yeah, man. Let me dance, let me dance, oh, yeah. Let me dance, fucking hundred with the baby, that's your face, and that's your god, that's amazing. I want to start, and I'll be glad shaving. You know, I like, your lover. I bring it up on the house, roll, get so down, and go, rather than spread, then get vibration. I want to get down, pressure, money, I ever got it. Mommy, and I ever got it. Fire, then Lord, was it? Send you along, dance, oh, and dance. Children, happy dancers, all different, happy dancers. That you from Sha, I will not follow your Monday and law. The dark of the trouble child with me fight. It's me fire up against me feel alright. With the green in the blue, glad people in the black eyes and the button and they never are you. I stumble on the fire and Lord, you said, what? Oh, what? Said, who knows? What? When you dance, and dance, dance, oh, body dance, Shake out this on earth's on. Now I'm big and I'm free. Standing in my flats, I got time to night straight now. Nowadays, I'm breathing. Standing in my flat, what I got time to night straight now. Remember we from west, where us the unknown breath. When he was down on the rocks, and for the fire in the box. Babylon and his friends, here ain't no end. I am in attention. But boy, that's right. In my life, I'm with a jump from a pop it's but boy, that's right. Happy birthday. I know, but one is not worry. Shut up, block. We were in a monthly flames. Crying my own already. Trying to get Johnny Wong, he's stuck. Set him up already. Life will be young. Don't be late. Why am I fast? Now in a party, why am I only live one year. Now in return, you call me. But boy, I know, but finally, in a party. But boy, no, but finally, in a party. Awkward things, anything to me. Numa casa family. What you the windows open in New York? You see so shadow with the door. Don't you see the jungle in skills? I said the food not like frosty. But boy, yeah, that damn so much now with party. But boy, so fun manners now party. So like a push down and every day. Just another showdown in England. I push my luck. Before I need the man, I need the long the block. So you see, jungle in skills. We set the proof in a time cross. Everybody else as an export team. Now we return to the calling before the past boy. I know the past one in a party. Past boy. I know the past one in a party. Remember we walked with, there was the unknown break. When it was all on the floor, I'm going to find a book. Body line on it breaks, spirit no hands. I am heading. Them on breathe, them on twist. Nobody in my blood, and I am not secret. Them on breathe, them on twist. And nobody in my blood, but I am not secret. I am not secret. I am not. I'm doing my teeth. Nobody in my back, but I am not. Am I ready? Am I? Nobody in my back, I am not. Well, we found
Slide piece of hardware you're equally concerned. It's a Jacob we answer. There are additional to tell Jacob that she expected to like one of his friends. We told her that Bobby had retired from baseball game at school and had left to walk back home and still one baseball field where Bobby was only about 3 blocks away from their ball. Now it is 6:30 p.m. So it's been an hour and a half since Bobby has supposedly began his walk home. And so by now he certainly should be here, but of course he wasn't. I guess this is the way that Jacob went from feeling wise for his son to being concerned for his son's safety, despite the fact that he's thinking, okay, well, my son is likely somewhere in this neighborhood in South Kenwood, one of the safest, richest, best places in the country. He's got to be okay, but I really want to find him. And so Jacob would call one of his very close friends who lived in this neighborhood, who also happened to be a former state senator, and he asked him to come over and basically look around the neighborhood for Bob. When the state senator friend arrived at Jacob's house, the two men left and began walking down the street in mansions, making their way towards the street where Bobby supposedly had been. And when they got there, they saw there was no baseball game happening, and the school was dark and closed for the night. So Jacob decided that maybe it was possible that after umpiring this game, when Bobby had begun his walk home, maybe he had taken a detour into the school to get something, and that perhaps the door got shut and locked on him. And so Jacob and Ken went to the school and looked for a way to basically break into the school. And sure enough, they would find a little window, they'd open it up, they would climb inside, and they would search the entire school, but Bobby was not. At this point, Jacob was really starting to panic. His friend was trying to calm him down, but Jacob is now thinking something is terribly wrong with his son. And so the two men actually ran from the school back to Jacob's house. And when they went inside, Jacob immediately called out to his wife to see if maybe she had located Bobby. But when he called Flora's name, there was no response. And so Jacob and his friend, they run inside and make their way to the parlor, which is where they had last seen Flora before they left. When they walked in there, they found Flora lying on the ground, totally lifeless, with the phone off the hook right next to his hand. And so Jacob and the senator, they run to her and they begin just shaking Flora. And suddenly she wakes up with a gasp and she looks up at Jacob and just begins sobbing hysterically. And after Jacob finally calms her down, she would tell him that after they had left to go to the school, she had received a phone call. And at first, she thought it was Bobby calling to check in. But when she answered it, it wasn't Bobby. It was a man's voice she didn't recognize, who told her that Bobby had been kidnapped. He was safe for now, but if they went to police, something terrible would happen to them. This mystery man also told Flora that they would be in touch soon with more information, and then they were done. And Flora had been so overwhelmed by what she was told that she had fainted, and that was why they got her. That night, Jacob, Flora, and the state senator friend stayed up late going over, what they should do. Of course, they wanted to go to police, but this felt like a credible threat that Bobby could be harmed if they did that. And so they just went back and forth on how to handle this horrible situation. But by 2 a.m., they had made a decision. The state senator had some close friends and connections in the police department. And so they decided that they would go talk to the police, but they would swear them to secrecy so the kidnapper or kidnappers wouldn't know that police were investigating. And so, a few hours later, when the police department wakened up, Jacob and his state senator friend went to the police. They spoke to the highest ranked officer who swore to secrecy, and then that morning, the police would begin a quiet investigation into Bobby's death. At the same time this investigation was beginning, on the morning of May 22nd, 1924, when the man named D. Ballard drove through downtown Chicago in a luxury car known as a vids. He pulled this luxury car into a parking lot right next to the rental car. The car, Morton got out, he went inside the shop, and handed the keys over to the clerk behind the desk. The clerk would ask Morton, how did it go with your rental car? Morton would say, oh, the car seemed totally fine. After that, Morton thanked the clerk, he turned around, and goes outside, where another luxury car was waiting for him, being driven by his good friend, Curtis Mason. Once Morton had inside, the two men smiled and drove off and disappeared into traffic. That same morning, Jacob and Flora received a letter from the kidnapper or kidnappers demanding $10,000 in small and large bills, and gave this money over that they would get their son. And immediately, Jacob went to the bank and got the money. But before he could actually deliver the money to the kidnapper at the location they had specified in his letter, the police, who were quietly investigating, discovered the code and would break the case one over. It would take over a week to unravel this bizarre code, but it all started to come together when the police brought in North D. Ballard and Lewis Mason for questions. It's a shocking story that detectives were finally able to piece together about what happened to Bobby Fred. On May 7th, 1924, so 2 weeks before Bobby went missing, Morton D. Ballard walked into a hotel in Chicago called the Morrison and rented room 1031. He would tell the front desk that he wanted them to hold his mail for him, and over the next couple of days, Morton would come in and he could get his mail from the front desk, but he didn't appear to ever actually go up to his room. Finally, a suspicious maid at the Morrison Hotel had been going into room 1031 every day to clean it, only to discover that Morton wasn't in there and the room was totally untouched and clean already. She went in one morning and saw Morton was not in there, and she would actually just open up one of Morton's suitcases that he had left inside. And instead of the suitcase containing clothes or toiletries, it just contained a bunch of random library books. As it happened, after this maid found this strange suitcase full of books, Morton stopped coming to the hotel. He stopped getting his mail, he would not claim his luggage, and paid the bill. Just paid it. On May 9th, so just a couple of days after Morton first booked that room at the Morrison Hotel, Morton also opened a bank account in Chicago. He also made his first appearance at the car rental company, where he asked for the Williston car. The rental company would not just let anybody take a Williston car, but needed records to show that he was someone who could pay for this type of vehicle, and so Morton's friend, Lewis Mason, will give him that reference and allow him to rent the Williston car. About a week and a half later, on May 21st, so the day Bobby went missing, Morton and Lewis were driving around South Kendrick in their Williston car when they spotted Bobby and someone walking. Now, Lewis recognized Bobby and knew that Bobby was an incredible tennis player, and Lewis had a question for Bobby about a particular tennis court. And so Lewis, who was in the front seat of the car, told Morton, who was driving, to pull over so Lewis could talk to Bobby. And so Morton pulled over. Lewis rolled his window down and called over Bobby. Bobby came over, and before long, Lewis and Bobby were talking about his tennis racket. And then when that conversation naturally wrapped up, Lewis offered Bobby a ride the rest of the call, because that was where Bobby was walking to when they stopped it. And so Lewis climbed into the back seat, Morton stayed in the driver's seat, and Bobby climbed inside and sat in the front seat. And then once those two were situated, Morton pulled away from her and began driving towards Bobby's house. And as they were driving to Bobby's house, Bobby just kind of continued talking about his tennis racket, because that was the thing they were talking about. And as he was mid-sentence, Lewis, from the back seat, reached into his pocket, pulled out a chisel, and then lunged forward and began smashing Bobby in the back of the head over and over again with his chisel. And as Bobby is screaming in pain and trying to protect himself, Lewis lunges forward, grabs Bobby, drags him into the back seat, and then holds him down, pulls a rag out of his pocket, and jams it into Bobby's throat. And then he closes Bobby's mouth and holds it shut. Overwhelmed by what she was told, that she had fainted. That night, she got over up and stayed center with friends and stayed up late, going over what they should do. First, they wanted to help needs, but this felt like a credible threat that Bobby got to harm if they did it. So I just didn't have it. Or go back on the window and come and listen to the station. But while we have some practice, that passing to so the other at the same time, this investigation was beginning, morning of May 22nd, 1924, a man named Warren T. Ballard wrote a third downtown Chicago named on Free known as a Lewis letter. He pulled this letter from Greenwich with a parking lot right next to the rental car. And at the corner of the car, Morton went out, he went inside of the shop, and handed the keys for the car. Yes. And the right would ask more people how to go around the rental car. Morton would say, oh, and Polish after that, Morton said, which would go on in outside, whereas when the third one here for this lady put it in, it's in like this Berlin and space. And so Morton comes inside, it changed its file, and the robot disappeared in her. That same morning, Jill and received a letter and it's a man named $10,000 in school and then they made this money over a job with the center. I went immediately to the bank and got the money. But Liberty could actually deliver the money to the kidnappers at the location they had specified in this letter. The police, who were quietly investigating, discovered a clue that would break the case wide open. It would take over a week to unravel this bizarre clue, but it all started to come together when the police brought in Morton D. Ballard and Lewis Mason for question. Here is the shocking story that detectives were finally able to piece together about what happened to Bob and friends. On May 7th, 1924, so 2 weeks before Bobby went missing, Morton D. Ballard walked into a hotel in Chicago called the Morrison and rented room 1031. He would tell the front desk that he wanted them to hold his meal for him. And over the next couple of days, Morton would come in and get his meal from the front desk, but he didn't appear to ever actually go up to this room. Finally, the suspicious maid at the Morrison Hotel, who had been going into room 1031 every day to discover that Morton was not in there, and the room was totally untouched and unready. She went in one morning and saw Morton was not in there, and she would actually just open up one of Morton's suitcases that he had left inside. And instead of the suitcase containing clothes or toiletries, it just contained a bunch of random library books. As it happened, after this maid found this strange suitcase full of books, Morton stopped coming to the hotel. He stopped getting his mail, he did not claim his luggage, and he didn't pay the bill. He just claimed to pay it. On May 9th, so just a couple of days after Morton first booked that room at the Morrison Hotel, Morton also opened a bank account in Chicago. He also made his first appearance at that car rental company where he asked for the Willis Knight car. The rental company would not just let anybody take a Willis in the car. You needed a reference to show that you were someone who could pay for this type of vehicle. And so Morton's friend, Lewis Mason, would give him that reference and allow him to rent the Willis Knight car. About a week and a half later, on May 21st, so the day Bobby went missing, Morton and Lewis were driving around South Kenwood in their Willis Knight car when they spotted Bobby by himself walking down the road. Now, Lewis recognized Bobby, and he knew that Bobby was an incredible tennis player, and Lewis had a question for Bobby about a particular tennis racket. And so Lewis, who was in the front seat of the car, told Morton, who was driving, to pull over so Lewis could talk to Bobby. And so Morton pulled over, Lewis rolled his window down and called over to Bobby. Bobby came over, and before long, Lewis and Bobby were talking about his tennis racket. And then when that conversation naturally wrapped up, Lewis offered Bobby a ride the rest of the way home, because that was where Bobby was walking to when they stopped him. And so Lewis climbed into the back seat, Morton stayed in the driver's seat, and Bobby climbed inside and sat in the front seat. And then once those two were situated, Morton pulled away from the curb and began driving towards Bobby's house. And as they were driving to Bobby's house, Bobby just kind of continued talking about his tennis racket because that was the thing they were talking about. And as he was mid-sentence, Lewis from the backseat reached into his pocket, pulled out a chisel, and then lunged forward and began smashing Bobby in the back of the head over and over again with this chisel. And as Bobby is screaming in pain and trying to protect himself, Lewis lunges forward, grabs Bobby, drags him into the backseat, and then holds him down, pulls a rag out of his pocket, and jams it into Bobby's throat. And then he closes Bobby's mouth and holds it shut until Bobby goes still. After that, Lewis kind of grimaced at all of Bobby's blood all over him, and he kind of pushed Bobby down onto the floorboards below, and then Lewis calmly climbed back into the front seat and sat down, and meanwhile, Morton has not remotely reacted to what just happened. This is just business as usual. Morton and Lewis did not go to Bobby's house, but instead drove towards Indiana. And on their drive to Indiana, they would stop at a roadside restaurant and eat hot dogs and root beers. At their car parked right near this restaurant, when Bobby's body was totally exposed, laying out on the floorboards at the back seat. Morton and Lewis would eventually get into Indiana, and they would head to this particular forest that Morton was familiar with because there's a bird watch overnight. And when they got to this forest, they parked in this clearing, who got out and checked on Bobby, and confirmed that he was dead. Pulled him out and stripped all the clothes off of him and rolled him up in the rug. Then they dragged him over to this drainage pipe that sat underneath some railroad tracks in this swampy area. They jammed him inside of it. And then they drove back to Chicago, at which point Morton called Bobby's mother and Thriller. He informed her that her son was kidnapped, alive, and don't call the police immediately. That night, Morton and Lewis returned all of the flowers that had stripped off of Bobby, and also believed he returned their Lewis Knight rental from her. then they would then close together. Next day, May 22nd, so the same day that police began a quiet investigation into two dollars kidnapped. Fort Lewis, the same black letter to my family for us, over $10,000, but safe returning the body. But unfortunately, Fort Lewis and Moon couldn't claim the buildings and Bobby's body was discovered. In fact, that day it was discovered. Robert was playing through the woods in Indiana and saw Bobby. So when Morgan and Vegas realized that Jim was up, they was never going to pay for their son because it's dead, they just returned their Willis that rented car and went back to the news as if nothing happened. But unbeknownst to him, had accidentally dropped his eyeglasses right next to Rodney's body and felt him. His eyeglasses very in fact, it was so
That's one high-end spy cam.
that was the game. I mean, that's glasses. Detectives just particular glasses. So they not asking was about the heroes and your heroes from the both.
And bam. Now I can touch the drone. So close to perfection.
Not bad. You got skills. I got skills too.
And I thought robocalls were not just, well, just let down his tricycles.
Peter, I'm about to get another test.
Oh, sorry, my bus broke down in the middle of cabs. But I'll be there as soon as I can.
But far more shocking, what is does was they were because what is the evidence on how he taxes two men killed on friends or rich kids just like they parents they carrying this letter fake news $14 spaces. Then one was telling them they had the potential to seize to make it clear for the same mentality state in physical is connected to their results. So it is sending email to my Valor so tell
Felicia thinks she's touring. I learned something in each of these scenes.
People to learn from my Chicago. I felt so into that. Guys, again, they just think
Some big time lawyer mission. She's after my retort. To admit it, she's one smart kid.
Yet your power was tied to reality. Was actually a 19-year-old prodigy. Still not connected to its speak of already graduated college and it's a bachelor of study. Nathan's IQ was so high it literally couldn't be measured. His father was the president of a very successful Steve Shoes, and Nathan was planning to attend Harvard's first year in the fall to get yet another coach. And Lewis, who was actually a 2-year-old club, he was Bobby's president Ken Woodard's best friends. Bobby and Richard played tennis together all the time in Richard's private court, which is where Bob's father went first to go looking for his son, like me. Richard was also a genius. Graduating with signatures. And to celebrate the occasion, Richard's father he bought Richard a perfect doll and built him Zoe built cabinets and screen. At the time, was Richard was actually mostly was awesome. And Richard very proudly telling investigators that they didn't feel Bobby to get money to parents. They didn't Richard wanted fabulously well. Money meant nothing. Instead, made him feel awkwardly seen. because of their lead. Philosopher Nietzsche's concept of superpowers and superiority allows them to rise above all ordinary rules, ethics, and laws. Basically, Richard, they were so much better than everybody else in the world. And if they wanted to kill someone, they should be able to. That bomb seemed like a pretty easy target. After Nathan and Richard confessed, they were put under arrest, but a chauffeur is allowed to come to the police station and drop off silk pajamas for them to wear in custody. And instead of being held in a cell, they were allowed to stay in a hotel. But ultimately, they both were sentenced to death. Obviously, only Pavlov federal friends her and his father, Jacob, died just 4 years. As for Nathan, he would be murdered in prison by faith, and as for Richard, he served his time, yet to parole, and then died of natural causes in 1970. Today, the murder of Bobby Franks is often referred to as the carve century. So let's get to it. You got something
Hey,
to
sorry I'm late.
Morning,
St.
Parker.
Parker,
Or is it
it's
evening?
the great
like
It
what
doesn't
says
matter.
it's guilt. So they're forced to sit through all these things. Also, please subscribe to our channel. Follow the
check
notice
it out
something,
as
would
you
you?
click on
We need a
this and need a
faster
kind of
response.
response.
On it.
on this podcast. Follow this
Trying to
Trying
get
to
it
get
done
it
with
done
you.
with signal.
puts out brand new podcast exclusive stories Monday mornings, and on Thursday mornings we put out audio of our best YouTube videos. Again, it's called Mr. Warren Podcast, and it's available exclusively on Amazon Music.
Okay, looks like I could
Say I get off
optimize
the
this
list
power
this pen.
relay.
I went down there. I'm trying to bring your sticky and you just take over. I think that it's all to be on it's all to be on that. If I just be the first to listen, can I hear more? I can't Did you download pedals? Is it down?
Nice.
Nice.
Okay,
Okay,
next.
next.
Looks like some
Such an
improvements in the
improvements in
signal
signal
sensor.
sensor. Hopefully, when are you most between? Calm down. I know. Me calm down. Calm down, Lord's Palace. It's okay. Baby. Well, baby. Wow, wow, wow. Rosie, calm down. Snow, dude.
Finished.
Next.
Signal to noise is out of whack. A new signal processor should reduce lag. I got it, Doc. 2.8 milliseconds. Good work, Peter. Yes. I'd call that a mild success. I'd call that unbelievable. Do you need some help? Yes. Doctor, what's going on? Has become that obvious. My
I
doctors
got
call
this
it
smaller, but
degenerative
degenerative
neurological
neurological
disorder.
disorder.
Probably
Couple
caused
of
by
times we have
overexposure to
exposure to
toxic
toxic
chemicals in
chemicals
my
in the
rectal
rectal
suit.
suit.
Sorry,
So
is there anything I can do? You already are. The worst part is, it only affects the muscles. The mind continues to work, but it can no longer do. You're the only one who knows, Peter. I'd like to keep it that way.
What's up there, MJ?
Of course. Uh, if you'd like to
like
seek
a
a position
supposition
more of
for
a future. I came here to work for you because of what you've got up here. And that's not going anywhere. So neither am I. Oh, Peter, before I forget, I read the most fascinating article. Outlines possible next
possible
steps
next
for the
step.
neural interface. I'll take a look. Thanks, Doc. What is this, Doc? Never seen this type of material.
Was here
Would you believe
was
it's
weird.
for welding? Provides remarkable magnetic insulation and limits cross-contamination between the neural interface.
An art.
Doc loves these things. He used them in grad school when he had to manipulate radioactive isotopes.
Isotopes.
Says
They
seeing them
say
keeps
that
him
it's
humble.
Hey, MJ, what you doing?
Man, direct interface with the basal ganglia. Exciting, but risky. I don't know, Doc. You'll need a gallium
Oh, you
silk array
silk
to make it
already made
work.
it work.
Even then,
Even
odds
then,
of injury are pretty high.
it-
Jeez! Never mind, Rick. We'll work them out in time. Gonna miss that humorless grimace. Mob enforcer turned walking tank. Rhino's racked up enough property damage to destroy Manhattan 3 times over. Vulture might be
Ultra
the
might be the
smartest guy up
smartest.
on this wall.
Not smart enough to duck 3 consecutive lives. So this is a course, but
Still pretty
they're very
brainy.
great.
Last time I
So,
fought Scorpion, he asked if I knew what my skull looked like from the inside, then offered to show me. Super fun guy. Electro was the first legit superpowered villain I fought. Till then, it had been regular guys in fancy suits. Electro was a big change. Big change. Doc's really sick. At this rate, he'll lose control of his motor functions within a year. And if we're not careful, an
The
intracranial
pretty
implant
little
could make things even worse.
princess.
Even alter his personality.
No, I
We have
didn't
to
know.
proceed carefully.
Holy shit! Are you alright, Pampos? You okay, Pampos? Fuck you, Rosie. Fuck you. You're always a bitch. What's wrong with you? No, what's fucking wrong with you? Why are you being a little shit? Why are you doing it? What's wrong with you? Wrong with us? See? What's wrong with you? Hmm? Why are you doing it? What's wrong? Well, what? Well, this is that. What? This is that. Hey, whoa, 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 no, 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 bad, 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 yeah, bad, bad, no, no, no. What? Was pedals, Faust pedals. We watch these. Yeah, no. What? Please share. What? Please share or something? No, shit. Oh, goodness. What? Like, Oh, love adults. Wow, 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 wow. Lord, baby. You can do it. Wow, wow. Wow. That's how hard about it. Leaders, needs to do. Who was that one? No games.
Wow, one can get fucking potential. I'm fucking fascinated by these virtual. Stop stealing my weed, you stop and tasting when it's fucking later than I healthy shit. Like, fuck that, you stop and shit off and fucking killing spices $5 at the happens.
It wants me on. I can't remember your name now. I can't remember your name now. I'm here that remember your name down. Wake it's back. Don't have it's I guess it's I'm tired.
So way in my I this is pretty obviously saying this is a guarantee. Pack this bowl for me, and I'm gonna smoke my weed, and then you know it's gonna be. Pack this bowl for me, and smoke my weed. Congrats. Nabby wabby labby.
Doc, I'm sorry. My aunt just texted me. No worries, man. I was thinking of doing it last time. As soon as I check our telemetry plan. Thanks. I'll be back in a few hours.
This dash of $10 the Tony fucking houses, that's $100 Is that $100? $10? And I can use the electron so say that.
What, Rosie? Would you stop doing that?
Hi, May.
Well, gas, Money Lake.
Nope, I'm actually on my way now. Have you come from Miles?
They're setting signs, so.
Good. I'll be there soon. Bye.
Is that actually the thing that you're paying nothing to something? Weird. So, you see,
Be cool here.
You just made your last mistake, Tom.
Oh, it's just a country.
Does it seriously take this many guys to rob a teenager? Spider-Man. You're the amazing Spider-Man. But do you play Spider-Man if you want to short that? This is music. Look,
Hey.
great. But next time,
Oh, no, it froze.
yeah. Okay, look already around. Well, you can't just go swinging at someone twice the size. I mean, don't get me wrong. I fight guys stronger than me all the time. But when I do it, man. Oh, like that guy who fought right in the fucking bridge?
Sorry.
Perfect example. If the guy's bigger, you gotta be quicker. Okay? Okay, but that's easy for you to say. Sorry, I just can't do what you do. All right, put him up. Seriously? Yeah, come on. First thing, don't let the adrenaline get to you. Breathe slow, breathe deep, relax. Hip square to your opponent. Let them make the first move. Now use your feet. When they go off balance, look for an opening. Boom. Like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Only this time, just let me have it. Right on the jaw. Okay?
MJ.
Oh,
Hey,
sorry.
MJ.
No, no. It's all good.
MJ.
Keep that up and you'll be fine. All right. Lesson's over. Gotta go. Hey, thanks. You know, anytime. Just punch Spider-Man.
MJ. MJ.
I know
Okay. Let's wait for this key.
Shelter should be just ahead.
It's a baby kitty. It's a baby kitty. It's a baby kitty. Oh, such a baby kitty. It's such a baby. She's such a baby. She's such a baby. Need to go to the bathroom or something? Oh,
Yo, Miles, what's up?
Bro, you're not gonna believe this. I just met Spider-Man.
What? That's crazy. Hey, did you show him our hacking app?
Oh, man. I totally forgot.
Oh, you suck. He totally would have bought it off you, and then we'd be like famous.
Yeah, I'll show him next time.
I
I
got
gotta
it.
go. I promised my mom I wouldn't be late.
Cool. Later.
Farmer's market. I can cut through there. I wonder if it still works. Uh-oh.
Everyone have their IDs out and ready for inspection.
Kidding me. It's gonna take forever. That drone wasn't watching. I could jump the fence. Wow, that was too easy. I can't believe Sable systems are unsecured.
I've been an anonymous tip.
Fuck's sakes. Why does it keep disconnecting? Those such
Oh, no.
I'm my soul like a beautiful light. If I could go from the dead, found his summer, he does, he does like a shade. So much is God in moments.
Okay, let's see. I can go under the gate on the left or over the scaffolding to the right. Scaffolding will work. More drones? Gotta blind them. Those things have mounted guns? Can't let them spot me. Nighty night. This would be so cool if it was less terrifying.
Normally, invisible.
Me,
Okay,
I'm
I'm in the clear.
I'm in the clear. The guy said
Guys said
everyone
everyone
breathes in their
breathes in
own
their own way.
way.
This is mom.
Okay, sorry.
Mom,
Mom,
Yeah?
just because I
just
don't
'cause I
want to
wanted to
talk
let
about it doesn't mean I don't.
you love you.
Oh, honey, I love you so much.
We'll get
We'll
through
get
this.
through this.
Okay?
Okay?
I gotta go.
I gotta
I'll
go.
call you on my way
I'll
home.
call you on my way home.
Hey,
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 Pete.
Steve.
Hey,
Hey, sorry I'm late.
late, man.
Oh, no, no, I'm just glad you're here. It's so, what can I do to help? Why don't you start just by... Fuck. Work the place. Alright, well,